Let's go.
Wednesday afternoons.
We are indeed.
Okay, so welcome to the Football Referee with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me bruv.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me Cuz.
Yeah, so you're in for a treat, guys. This is so we were talking about Pep Guardiola. I'm sorry, we do apologize to Man City and Pep Guardiola for but it seems to be getting worse for him, isn't it?
Why are we apologising? We haven't said anything bad, have we? Why are you apologising?
We keep talking about him all the time, though.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's why we're apologising. Well, he might be pleased that we're talking about him. Yeah, I like many people, I actually have a lot of sympathy. I liked the way after the game against your lot, against Man United on Sunday, I think, wasn't it? The first thing he said after the match when he was interviewed was, "Well, I'm not good enough," and of course, that's. I mean, he's a very humble sort of guy, but he's taking responsibility. Obviously, any team, as we've discussed before, it's a bit of each, isn't it? The manager, the coaches, and the players. At different times, perhaps we all think, well, at the moment, the players aren't really giving it all, and therefore a lot of it's down to them. But it's obviously a combination. If a manager loses the dressing room, as they say, then that can contribute to it. But I think most people would accept he's highly unlikely to have lost the dressing room. He's probably the world's most respected football manager, football coach. And I'm sure they will pull together. The difficulty is trying to, as observers, to try to think about why this is happening. I mean, I assume you watched the game on Sunday. I certainly watched it.
I did.
And it's just not like the old or the recent Manchester City. But to be fair, they haven't had their usual defence. They haven't had Rodri, as we've said, and he's probably one of the most key players in the team. They don't seem to have had John Stones, even Nathan Ake, who I imagine are both injured. Because really Stones, Walker, who has been playing, I'm not sure he's been playing as well as usual. I mean, he's a very good footballer, but perhaps he's lost a bit of confidence with the results like most of the team. But as for Stones, and obviously Rodri is not going to be there this season, then if you haven't got your proper defence, that's going to be a bit of a leaking bucket to the team. And then once you start to lose a game or two, I think your confidence drains and you've lost your winning momentum. So we never thought this would happen in the foreseeable to Manchester City of all teams. I mean, they were still being touted as the winners of the Premier League again this season, which is now highly unlikely. One statistic that came out on Sunday in the game, which really surprised me, was that at this stage last year, Man City only had 3 more points. I don't know whether you heard that, but I find that incredible because they've gone now in 11 games, they've won once.
Yeah.
They've had a few draws, but they've lost a lot of those games. So as they won the league last year, I can't see how that could possibly be true. I've not researched that since I heard it. But anyway, like anything, they could always come back. They're still in the top 6, 4 or 5, 6. So you never know what could happen. And let's face it, Arsenal are not winning every game. And they've got 2 very tough games, one tonight, and again, the same team they're playing on Saturday. And what team is that? My team is Crystal Palace. So Palace are at Arsenal. They're at Arsenal tonight in the cup. And so often it happens, doesn't it? When teams are drawn together in the cup, the very next game they play in the league is the same team. And that's what's happened this week. Yeah. So I should be going to shout the team on Saturday, as I always do at home games, and the occasional away game as well. But I'd be interested to see how Arsenal cope, actually, because Palace are beginning to improve a bit. We had a good victory on Saturday.
Yeah, and I saw that.
Points are coming our way a bit more. We're getting more like the team that ended last season. So I think we'll give Arsenal a game. I mean, on paper, Arsenal should win possibly both games, but as people say, football's not played on paper; it's played on a grass pitch. So you never know. But yeah, so it's not as if any team. Liverpool are up there, as we know. They seem to be doing the best of the lot, as they call it, the slot machine, which I thought was quite a good name for Liverpool, the slot machine. But yeah, as for Pep, I hope Pep comes good. I'd hate to think he would walk away. I don't believe he will. He has said he wouldn't do that, but he looks down in the mouth. He looks down in the mouth.
It does.
Even when he congratulates his players at the end of the match, he looks a bit low. And so even the best have off times, don't they? Off days. It's not reserved just for lower teams. But yeah, my hope is they pick up, because they are a great advert for British football. And I'm just getting a feeling lately that our teams are not doing quite so well in Europe. We've gone through stages where we win the Champions League, used to be called the European Cup, but we don't see. I mean, I know West Ham did win the Europa League. I think last season was that, but generally we don't seem to be dominating like we used to. So, yeah, let's hope we come back. Yeah,
let's hope we come back. Now, just talking about Pep Guardiola, because when he made that comment about him not being good enough, he said, perhaps I'm not good enough. I thought, well, where's your confidence gone? I know his confidence probably depleted a little bit following the losses that his team suffered. But I never saw him as that kind of person that would, I saw him, because all right, so in comparison to Eric Ten Hag, which they're not on the same level by any means. But I'm just thinking
they are both bald, aren't they?
Well, so is Slot.
So is Slot, yeah. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, man. All right, so I just thought if it were to be Eric Ten Hag, he'd still be hanging on. He'd be like, oh yeah, it's just it's just a little thing, all right, so we're still up there in the top 10, so yeah, there's nothing to worry about. But with Pep, he's sort of, to me, looking at it, watching it, I know a lot of people would have different interpretations to the comment that he made, but my interpretation to that was, you better find another manager, because I can't do this anymore. That's what I read from it. And I was surprised to hear you read something different from it, which is well and good, but that was what I read from it. I thought he's throwing in the towel. He's giving up. But he can't just take all the winnings and not want to, suffer a few drawbacks, if you know what I mean. And
yeah.
So when I saw that, I was quite disappointed.
Saw family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom